Welcome to Stephsfoodiefinds. A little food, a little wellness. Listen in and experience a podcast where food and personal development come together. Now, here's your host, Stephanie Magsino.
Welcome back. Thanks, everyone. Welcome, foodie friends and listeners. I'm honestly really grateful that you guys are listening. I think we're at episode 9 now, so this is like closer to the end of the second month of doing this podcast, and it's been really fun. And I am excited for this current episode that I am recording because we have a really awesome duo. And I'm calling them a duo because they are a mom and daughter. I've always loved that dynamic. Of course, as you know, I have a daughter myself, and she is becoming a foodie. So I figure the best way to talk about this would be with another mom and daughter. Now, this duo is very unique. Louise Alvin, and she actually has opened this cafe, Louise, right here in Connecticut. Let me tell you a little bit about Louise. Louise Alvin has always liked creative freedom in her work. She's a graduate of Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut, with a BA in French literature and a Connecticut State teaching certificate. She was fascinated and attracted to good food, new tastes, and artistic presentations. So as a college student in the mid-1970s, she spent 3 semesters living in Paris, France, where she also attended a French culinary school in the Latin Quarter. She catered in Eugene, Oregon in the mid-1980s and felt like she had figured out her life's passion. She opened Cafe Louise in 1993 to provide elegant, contemporary, eclectic gourmet catering to private and business clients. In addition to wonderful food, they consistently recognized for their artistic presentation and an outstanding service staff. Every event, no matter how large or small, is planned in meticulous detail with each client. You can rely on their experience and expertise for an easy to organize and guaranteed fun event. Let me also introduce to you Isabelle Alvin. Isabelle is the face behind the food-based Instagram page, Isabellesplate, which she started a few years ago while attending Skidmore College. Through her Instagram page, she showcases her passion for food photography, and supporting local businesses to her 9,000 plus Instagram followers. And I can attest to that because I checked earlier today. She currently works in social media and marketing for a local food startup based in West Hartford, Connecticut, called Bare Life, which sells gluten-free and dairy-free hot cocoa mix. Her passion for food and supporting local businesses stems from her childhood and growing up with her wonderful powerhouse mom, Louise, who has owned her own catering business for Isabelle's entire life. So without further ado, they're probably here now. Let me add to the podcast, Louise and Isabelle. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
I really appreciate you guys for taking the time tonight. It's interesting. I actually find that a lot of foodies now have very interesting backgrounds, and for you guys to be a mom and daughter, to be both invested in food and the food world, I mean, that's something really special. And I just thought that this would be a great opportunity to kind of showcase what you guys bring, to Connecticut. And I'm, like I said, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
So let's dive right into the questions that I have for you guys. First with Louise, can you talk about the cafe just a little bit? Tell me about like food fair, where you're located and things like that.
Sure. I've been in the same location. I opened up in January of 1993, so we are coming up on 29 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's on New Britain Avenue in what's considered the Elmwood section of West Hartford. I'm a couple miles from West Farms Mall.
Oh, okay.
Having grown up in West Hartford, I always wanted my business based in West Hartford. And even back in those days, I could not afford West Hartford Center rents. So I settled on Elmwood, which has really evolved, especially recently, into sort of another food destination place in West Hartford. And it just came out of passion. I had started catering when I lived in Eugene, Oregon, but I did it out of my home. So when I moved back east, I had sold a house that I owned. I actually sold that business, which was very small compared to now. And so I had some working capital, and I just said, I've got to do it legit. And so I created the kitchen that I'm in and have been in for soon to be 29 years.
Wait, but you're only 29. Wait a minute.
Makes me feel old.
Right?
No, you're not. Totally not.
So, and the food, my slogan, the original logo at the cafe, the slogan right underneath it said eclectic gourmet foods. And I've always loved to draw from different types of cuisines and mixing different cuisines together, like at catered events, versus just doing all Italian theme or all Asian theme or whatever, all French theme. And that's just sort of kind of who I am. And, you know, I like mixing tastes and flavors, both in the same dish as well as, you know, in a buffet, for example.
Okay. That makes sense. Is there a website that we can check out, you know, just so that if people are listening and they wanted to see, you know, what you guys offer at the restaurant?
It's super easy. It's just www.cafelouise.com.
Okay, I'll make sure to put that on my bio for this episode just to make sure that they know exactly where to go. So I appreciate that. So, wow. So as a small business owner, obviously, with everything that's happened in the last 17, 18 months, I'm sure you must have felt some kind of effect from pandemic and COVID life. Like, what were some of the struggles or even the advantages or maybe, you know, disadvantages of, you know, what had happened? I feel like everyone had a mixed, you know, bag of experiences. What was your experience like?
Well, we went from my running a very busy and successful catering business to no catering business and pivoting. You know, it was the perfect pivot. So what I did was completely redesign the whole storefront. And we decided to do grab and go, dinners to go, everything from hors d'oeuvres to sandwiches, fresh salads that we make, entrees, desserts, sort of grab and go. We did curbside delivery. I still do some curbside pickups, I should say, as well as home deliveries.
Wow. So that must have been a huge, huge change from what you guys were doing on a day-to-day basis to just kind of switching gears. Absolutely. To just make sure that you guys could stay, you know, in business.
And I thought the big shift also was I went from managing my catering business and coordinating all the events and stuff to I'm back in the kitchen, hands-on.
Right.
And, you know, it's just now that catering has picked up again, it's just more challenging for me to I actually need more staff.
That's something we need to make sure people know that you are hiring. Is that what I'm hearing? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So Louise is hiring, everyone. So definitely tune in and check out her website. And if anyone needs more information, please DM me and I will send you straight to Louise. Yes. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And I sense that even here and even on a grander scale where I'm originally from in New York, closer to New York City, I mean, the struggle was real and it still is for a lot of restaurants, smaller restaurants. I recently actually just went to New York City and many of the restaurants that I'm so used to walking by and being busy are completely shut down. And it's just really, really sad and really disheartening, but there's also this level of hope slowly coming back to life. And let's just hope for, a good, strong 2022. I'm hoping that for everyone. I'm really, really hoping that for everyone. So, and not just New York, but here, especially here in Connecticut, we need more people to get back to the norm.
Well, I've been finding recently, like in the last month or two, that corporate catering is back. People are
Great.
going to the office. They are doing in-house meetings. So that's been great, as well as we're entertaining. I do question how my December will be, which is usually one of our busiest months of the year, catering-wise, because right now a lot of people are still relying on partying outside.
That's right.
So,
well, let's hope a lot more families are able to get together and be able to, utilize your food services. That would be awesome. So fingers crossed for you.
Thank you.
I hope so. So what do you think, even after this, if you can even call it a rut or this shift in what you're doing now, what do you think down the road, what you're envisioning for the restaurant? And because you've been able to, pivot in that sense, I mean, it is an advantage that you're able to just also roll with the punches. What are you seeing for your business, down the road?
My passion has always been the catering, creating parties, especially hors d'oeuvre parties. I love doing hors d'oeuvres.
That sounds fun.
It makes my heart happy.
And they're yummy.
Yes, I'm sure.
So just continued growth. And, for me, down the road is, maybe 5 more years. And I want to sell and, I would say retire.
I'll keep you in mind. And I'm sure all the listeners will also keep you in mind, Louise. But thank you for that. So more about now the food. Let's focus on that. What are some of your standout dishes that you can think of from, the last 29 years that you've been doing this? What are some of your favorite standouts for appetizers or even entrees with your business?
So I think, since I mentioned that I love hors d'oeuvres, we do have some signature. We make a cafe chicken liver pate.
Oh,
Brandy or cognac? It's the French. It's the French Canadian woman in me. Actually, the French woman. That's always a big hit, and it's kind of like a little hidden secret that some people are kind of put off by chicken liver pate kind of thing, and it's just so yummy. We have a couple house cheeses. We make a gorgonzola terrine with pistachios.
You make cheese in-house. That's a game changer. Not many places do.
We do a goat cheese terrine with chutney and dried fruit and nuts also. And that sells well. And it's nice to incorporate those items on a fruit and cheese board, let's say. We have a couple signature pasta dishes. These are cold sort of side pasta salads. We make an Israeli couscous.
Ooh.
They both have these, one's orzo, one's Israeli couscous, and they both have the same lemon herb vinaigrette. One has artichoke hearts, Kalamata olives, fresh spinach, fresh basil.
I'm salivating right now. I can't. I'm envisioning this. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
The Israeli and the orzo pasta has spinach, basil, so it's some of the same ingredients. The lemon herb vinaigrette, sun-dried tomatoes, feta cheese.
That one's my favorite.
Is it? Okay, I'm going to have to make sure I get to try that one of these days.
So good.
Oh, wow.
Do tarragon chicken salad that I scratched my head for years and gone. It's one of the simplest things to make, and we make it almost every day. We just blow it out of the cafe all the time, both as an hors d'oeuvre as well as a sandwich, or people just pick it up to eat out of the container. Or on a bed of greens. It's a tarragon chicken salad with grapes and walnuts. It's mayo based.
That sounds phenomenal. That sounds like something I would look forward to. I work from home, and I'd probably be thinking about that tarragon chicken salad all morning. I'm already thinking about it. That sounds delicious.
Dinners, we do beef short ribs that I think are yummy, that are stewed in red wine, or slowly braised in red wine. And I have a chicken dish and puff pastry that's a little unusual. with a tarragon cream sauce inside the pack. So it makes a packet, and that's yum. And for dessert, I'm a chocolate, and we do have some signature desserts at the cafe, even though I no longer have a pastry chef, which I always did. And one of them, I call it to die for chocolate raspberry tort. So it's a chocolate tort. We hollow out the center. In it, we put raspberries that have been soaking in creme de cassis and berry liqueur.
Wow.
And then it's enrobed in chocolate ganache and then beautiful chocolate bark on top. And then we do a flourless chocolate tort, which has become very, very popular. It's like classic French chocolate. It's all butter and eggs and chocolate.
Well, that sounds like classically trained French culinary skills right there. You are just embodying everything that I just admire about French cuisine. Butter and lots of butter. Everything decadent. Yes.
Yes.
Isabelle, so, now that I know a lot more about your mom and her passion, I mean, how has this influenced you and impacted you? And obviously you have been such a huge influencer especially on Instagram. How has this whole thing come about for you, and how has this changed, you, and how has this motivated you,
Yeah, so obviously I grew up with food kind of as one of the centers of my life. I feel like we have a very food-oriented family, not just my mom, but, my dad always liked to cook. And, I have cousins that are chefs. My aunt.
Wow.
She's a chef, and she's worked in the restaurant industry her whole life. So I just feel like I've been surrounded by all of these talented family members in the food and restaurant industry. So it's really been a huge part of my life. And just, constantly eating good food every night,
Well, from everything that you've been posting on your social media, that's pretty accurate. I would say I'm very, very envious of all of your experiences, because it seems like it's made you a more well-versed and open-minded human being in terms of not just food, but just the exposure and experiencing something out of the quote-unquote norm, right? So that is something to definitely aspire to if anyone is looking to just become a foodie influencer. And I think there's a lot of people that want to do it these days, especially because of pandemic life, and people have, latched on to food as some level of comfort and, getting sustenance and nutrition, but also having to enjoy that experience. And I feel like it's all in one lately, especially lately. So now, with all of this being said, what do you think your goal is with, your growing social media brand? It's such a new concept to a lot of people. And I think it's really just blown up within actually the last 5 years to a decade at most. So what are you thinking for, your goals for social media?
Well, my main goal when I started my page was really just to help give exposure to local businesses and restaurants. That was kind of the reason why I started my page, was because I grew up firsthand in a family that depended on the income of a small business owner. And not only that, but after college I worked at other restaurants. I've worked for other local small businesses in Connecticut. Small business owners go through every day. But it's just so important to support these local mom and pop places because they just, the owners bring so much passion and life, and I feel like it's just so important to showcase what they have to offer. So that was really my main goal. And I love having, I love having a lot of followers, but I love it when my followers are people from Connecticut, people that are actually just on my page being where can I go for dinner? I love it when people reach out to me. I've had this happen somebody reached out to me and she was like, my boyfriend and I, we always look at your page like every Friday night just for inspiration for, you know, where we should go out for dinner or something like that. So, you know, that I love hearing stuff like that. People reach out to me. So yeah, I would say that is kind of a big goal.
Yeah. It sounds like, you know, having some kind of impact on other human beings is kind of the underlying tone. And I feel like even, you know, with Louise too, it's the same, it's kind of the same, but in different ways, but still related to food. And I love that. I just love hearing this because it means that you want to share your experiences with other people, and it kind of broadens everyone's like horizons and experience to see, oh, I'm not limited in this little bubble, but I can enjoy other things. I see someone who I can relate to and then is showing me there's so much more to food than just, you know, what I'm so used to eating. And that's super important. I think it's making light of and sharing that awareness of all of us can enjoy food, and not just the food that we've been brought up to eat, but outside of that and experience other kinds of food. And in a way, it's kind of sharing a little bit of like this mixture and coming together of culture, right? In some weird way it is. And at the same time, it's also bringing everyone together on this even playing field that we can share food and we can all be different and still somehow feel inspired to relate to each other by the means of food, right? Really, that's awesome. Yeah. So awesome. And because of your presence on social media, are you finding there are some advantages and some disadvantages to being so prominently in social media? Are you seeing that? I mean, you are technically what we call a foodie influencer. So how does that impact you on a day-to-day basis? Do you think about it, or do you get kind of irked by it? Like how does that influence you?
I mean, I love it. It has taken over my life. Like I have no free time anymore. I wake up, I go to work all day, and then at night, I feel like there've been a lot of restaurant events lately where, you know, several foodies get invited to come promote a certain restaurant, which is awesome. And I feel like I when I created my page a couple of years ago, I had no idea that is what would come out of it. You know, I created it because I like to take photos of food. I like to support local. I was like, let me just put it all in one place. But I had no idea that all of these wonderful opportunities would come out of it, where I'm being invited to restaurants, or I'm being sent products from different food companies to photograph and promote and post on my page for them. And I've been invited to restaurants outside, like throughout Connecticut, but also in New York City, in Rhode Island. I was invited to like have a booth at a pretzel eating competition in Providence, Rhode Island.
That's so awesome. Oh my gosh.
So cool. And like, you know, who would have thought that would have come out of it? And then also too, another big part of it for me has just been my friendships and relationships that I've made through my page. You know, even like, for example, you and I.
I was going to say the two of us.
Through our Instagram pages. And I feel like a lot of my good friends that I have now are from Instagram. Like we were all at an event over the weekend with new people that we had never met before, and they were like, how do you all know each other? And it was like, we met online, we met on the internet, you know.
We met on the internet. That's so funny. Do people still say that? We met on the internet?
I know, it's just, like I never thought I would be saying those words. And you know, I talk to my friends every day, and it's just it's cool to bounce ideas off of them, and just, you know, we teach each other, we support each other, we teach each other, we lift each other up. So it's been like a really cool foodie community that
I love hearing this. Yeah, I totally love hearing this. It sounds like you have basically taken something really small at first, and then it just became something bigger and better than what you anticipated, but you've embraced it And I think that you just have to keep going. I'm loving everything you post. I love everything you share. I'm now like your foodie follower. And it's great. It's been really awesome to see that, and then to see you kind of be in your element and then using your voice and your page as a platform to make some kind of impact on other people. And it's just awesome to see. And I hope that people start really honing in on the positive aspect of social media, because I feel like if there's more people like you out there and people like me, and we're just trying to bring to light all the things that could be possible in a positive way, I feel like we got something really good going, and it can cancel out all the negative stuff that's been happening on social media. So we just have to continue to keep this momentum going. So I'm with you. I'm so with you.
It's all part of life, and I mean, there are disadvantages to social media, and just, like I said, it's very time consuming, and it just consumes your life in a way. I feel like I'm constantly on Instagram, which probably isn't a good thing, but
Did you survive that one day where we didn't have Instagram for 10, 12 hours? Did you survive?
I made it through. All day, so at least I was working and I was fine. But then when I got out of work and Instagram was still down, I was like, what do I do with my time?
What are you doing? What do I do with myself right now?
I was talking with my friends who were all texting, and they were all freaking out.
Of course.
Dramatic. So, but I was too. But it's just funny because we're just all it's consuming, and also just going out to restaurants after work.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have, now I kind of have like a job or a duty to I want to put out good content for the restaurant that I've just kind of committed to. And so that part is time consuming.
Okay.
I'm a perfectionist, so I want it to look good, and I want it to represent the restaurant well. So, and then I just get tired. So I feel like I have all of this great content, but not enough time to share it, So that's with me too.
It's in a way what you're describing is a second job. Right. Yeah, it sounds like it. So can you elaborate if you have any goals for your social media going forward, what you want to share with us at this point?
So some smaller goals. I know you said that I'm at 9,000 followers. So I've kind of been making it my goal this year to get to 10,000 followers.
You're going to get there without a doubt.
I hope so.
Oh, you will.
That's the 2021 goal, which I said that's what I said from January 1st, 2021 was I want to hit 10,000 by the end of the year. And then bigger, more long-term goals, I would say that, maybe eventually, maybe 5 years down the line, I don't know. I would love to kind of turn it into a business, whether it's through Isabellesplate, but also I'm just passionate about doing social media for local restaurants in the area. So whether I start a company where it's just focused on, helping out local restaurants with their social media. Because I know, every marketing agency, it's not just focused on restaurants and food businesses. So that's kind of what I would be interested in.
Yeah, that's your niche. That's where you want to be. That makes sense.
So, but I'm not there yet. So I think I definitely need a couple more years.
Okay.
To kind of, learn a little bit more. But that's kind of the long-term goal, I'd say. So.
And rightfully so. You're well on your way. And I see that you have a lot of foodie friends on social media. Do you want to give any of them a shout out, any of your favorite foodie influencers that are here locally in Connecticut? Because we want to make sure that all of our foodie friends here get some love and support too. And because we are kind of a growing group, and we kind of have our own little nuance to the foodie world. And, mine is obviously the podcast part, bringing health, wealth, wellness, food, all in one. And then everyone's got their own niche. So start listing all your foodie friends that you think need some love.
I'm going to list my top 5.
Okay, sure. Go for it. Okay, you got a list. You got your top 5. Okay, this will probably be debated over post-recording. You got over 9,000 followers, so that's going to be a lot of people probably fighting for one of those spots.
I love everybody that I've met, and I really have met a lot of great foodie friends through this. But I have my 5 core group. So we're going to start off with Brandon Bald Bites, who I know you had on your podcast a couple weeks ago. Him and I met earlier this year, and I love his page just because he puts his face out there. He brings a personality to his page. People know exactly who he is. And he's also very passionate and dedicated, and he puts time into his photos and into his captions, and you can just tell. And also, side fact that we've actually started dating too through this page. Putting that bias aside,
I love that, and I kind of knew. Not that he told me, but I just knew. Just a woman's intuition. That's awesome.
But yeah, and then also my friend Tiffany, who's with Finn on Instagram. She also has a great page. She puts her son Finn in some of the photos, which I think is adorable.
I can't wait to have her on. I already chatted with her a little bit, so I'm excited. We're going to get our kids somehow involved.
So fun. She's hilarious. Every food event is made better when she's there because I'm just on the floor laughing the whole time. And we take photos of the same thing, and then she posts, she makes her post on Instagram, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she did it so well. I'm like, how did you even find that angle? Everything she puts out looks so good. And then third, we have CT Food Girly, who is a big page in the Connecticut food world. I love her. She's a smart businesswoman, I would say. She's got a great website. And what I love about her too is that she promotes restaurants that not everybody's heard about. So she kind of wants to show you those hidden gems and the hole in the walls. So she's great. And then also Appetite for Life. I'm shouting out Chrissy. She takes the best photos ever.
Yes, I agree.
Camera everywhere, and so.
What kind of camera is that?
Oh gosh,
it must be some really technical one because her pictures are flawless.
It's so good. I mean, yeah, we're all there with our iPhones, and then she brings out the big guns, and she's got I don't even know what she uses, but
she's the ringer.
Her editing is crazy too. Everything just looks beautiful that she puts out. And then last but not least is my friend Brian, who's Life of Revelry. Him and I've known him the longest out of everybody that I've mentioned. And I just love when you say someone's handle that you instantly think of something, So with him, I think of beer, and I think of he's known for his pizza money shots and all that. So I love his page too because you know exactly what you're looking for when you go to his page. So
awesome. So we're going to kind of segue into this other part of the episode. Are you ladies ready? So listeners, we are going to play a little foodie game. Just going to change up the pace here and end with something fun and light and very foodie related. I'm going to ask you both simultaneously a question. You both have your paper and marker ready. Isabel, you're so excited. I'm excited because I feel like I'm a game show host for a few minutes.
One of our answers are going to be the same.
Are they? You think so? Okay. Hopefully you guys did not discuss your answers before this. I'm trusting both of you.
But I said no. So.
It's more fun when you don't, because then you kind of get to see and gauge how well you know your mom and daughter. Okay, so essentially I'm going to ask you both the same question. You have to answer it with your gut intuition, obviously speaking to you. And then you guys will reveal your answers on your paper. And then I'll kind of we'll just play it by ear, right? We're just going to have a little fun here. Okay. So question number 1, what was Isabel's favorite dish that Louise, mom, made growing up? I wish I had a background sound for it. I got to work on that. Stay tuned. The tech aspect will get better with each season. Whenever you're ready.
Hold on, I've got 2 answers.
Oh boy. You might throw your mom in for a loop then.
Okay.
Okay, ready? So you have to reveal at the same time because I have to read them both. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It says here, plain buttered noodles and ramen noodle salad. That's Isabelle's. And Louise, turkey tacos or mac and cheese. These are very different answers, ladies. Very different answers.
Mine was this was like a childhood one, and this was more of, like an adulthood one, because I love
summertime.
She makes this awesome ramen noodle salad where it's like you don't cook the ramen noodles,
it's
like you use the
recipe.
Yeah, and it's got like coleslaw, and it's like a fresh summer salad.
That sounds delicious.
Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah, and so that was good.
Okay, question number 1 apparently didn't really work out, listeners.
Mac and cheese, and I think plain buttered noodles.
That's true.
That's similar. Okay, so you kind of got half a point for both of you. Okay, are you ready for the next question?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, number 2. What was mom's go-to dessert that she would make during the holidays? This has to be nostalgic. This has to be easy, right, Isabelle?
I don't know.
The first question apparently threw you off already.
We'll see. Well, because the thing is that you would bring home a lot of food from the
That's
cafe,
true.
so it's not like she was at home cooking or baking. Like it's something to be brought home. So I tried to think of something that we would think at home.
Okay, reveal time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Louise says Christmas cookies and maple syrup taffy. Wow, maple syrup taffy also Isabelle's answer. Okay, so you guys got one point. That's good. So is that homemade maple syrup taffy, I'm assuming? That's real homemade.
My parents were Canadian, and it's just something that wintertime is just very special.
Okay.
Maple syrup then you put it over ice. When I grew up, you used to put it over snow, and it makes this taffy that's to die for.
And we just with the spoon,
Right. You twist it around a spoon or a fork, and you just suck on it like a lollipop.
Right. It's so good.
Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. That sounds awesome. Wow. I'll have to learn how to make that one day. Okay, question number 3. What is Isabelle's favorite restaurant, not including yours, Cafe Louise?
I feel like you're going to do an older one.
I have no idea.
Okay, answer reveal time. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're so cute. Question mark from Louise and Zohara from Isabelle. So are you talking about Zohara in West Hartford? Wow.
So good. I love Mediterranean food. We've gone a couple
That's
times.
true.
I don't know if you would know that, but
and I was just coming up with nothing because you're always out to so many different restaurants. It's I don't know what's their favorite.
Right. I know. Well, it's hard for me to figure it too.
Right.
But, I do love it.
So now I know where to look for you if I'm in the area.
Yeah, I highly recommend. Yeah, and you like it there too. Yeah, it's good. So. But yeah, I'm not surprised that you didn't know that because it's not
Okay. Question number 4. What was mom's packed lunch like when you were in school? And I'm talking elementary school or middle school.
Okay. Well, I have to change my answer, but here I'll write 2 then. Let me see. Okay.
They are both intently jotting down their answers.
And the winner is. Okay.
Okay, reveal time. Answer reveal. Okay, so Louise says chicken salad with a cute note and peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And Louise says peanut butter and jelly, personal notes, turkey sandwich. Okay, that's another win for you both. Yes, points for both of you.
I would go through like phases.
Oh my God.
Right? I'd be like, this is all I want to eat.
For months until she was so sick of it that she never wanted to touch it again.
Right. So these were my different phases. So we got them all through both of us, right?
Yes.
I can imagine. Oh my gosh. And Louise, your sandwiches must have been amazing. They must have been your highlight of the day, Louise. Isabel, when you're at school, is like to actually have your lunch with all those personal notes. That's the magic touch, the personal notes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Like, well, maybe I shouldn't say in high school, but
no judgment here. That is really sweet. Okay, question number 5. What is one food or ingredient that Isabel stays away from?
I'm writing 2 again.
Isabel had to look at her mom, Louise, to make sure she wasn't looking over for the answer. No. Okay, answer reveal time.
Okay,
Louise says mushrooms and spicy foods, and Isabel, olives and mushrooms. Okay.
Either, so.
Wow, that is so interesting. Being a foodie influencer, how do you feel when people restaurants offer you to try something spicy or with olives or with mushrooms? Do you tend to tell them up front, or do you just let them, you whatever dish, you just kind of either pick them out or you sacrifice it and you actually eat it?
Right. I mean, I can eat those things. I feel like I haven't really been in the position where they only offer me something with like olives, mushrooms, or spicy. And I can handle some spice, but I'll eat it. But I can be upfront too. Or most of the time, like I'll just order something that doesn't have that. So it's okay.
Okay. Everyone's got their little nuance, and that's okay. That's what makes you you. Understood. Okay. We have time for one more question for this game, and it is question number 6. What is one food or ingredient that Mom Louise loves?
I feel like we're gonna say something different.
It's okay.
Because there's so many.
I know.
Oh. Okay, answer reveal. So Louise says chocolate. Oh my gosh, this is very different answers. Louise says chocolate and Isabel says kimchi. Those are very different ingredients. Not even on the same spectrum. That's awesome.
Right?
That's true.
She loves chocolate and she loves kimchi.
I do like kimchi.
So I love chocolate too. I'm not a big kimchi fan, but
well, obviously, someone doesn't like spice. That's okay. But that is great. Oh my gosh. So Louise, Isabel, thank you so much for spending the last 44 minutes with me. This has been awesome. I hope we can do this again. I hope I can visit Cafe Louise one of these days. Isabel, I hope I get to, follow you on your Instagram and continue on this path with you. I love watching your journey. I also hope that I get to join you on one of your foodie excursions. Hit me up. Let me know if there's room for one more at the table. I know you have lots of friends that are fighting for a spot next to you, but it would be such an honor and it would be an awesome experience to just kind of see what you go through and just kind of actually experience it with you. So that would be awesome down the road.
Yeah, let's eat together.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You said the magic word. Let's eat together.
Right, so.
Yes. So thank you again so much for coming on board. I hope that people check out Cafe Louise. I'll put all the information on the description and bio. And please also check out Isabellesplate on Instagram. Just caveat that she is trying to hit 10,000 followers and I'm supporting you. So I am with you on board with that. I'm hoping and cheering for you on the sidelines. Again, thank you again so much for your time. And I will talk to you ladies soon.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Well, that was a phenomenal episode with Louise from Louise's Cafe and Isabelle from Isabellesplate on Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed this really fun, interesting episode, more lighthearted. I feel like we needed to change gears from the last couple of episodes. I hope you guys had fun. I know I did. So until next time, I hope you guys get to tune in. Bye.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoy this podcast, please make sure to follow Steph's Foodie Finds on YouTube and be sure to hit like and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode of Steph's Foodie Finds. Until next time, eat well and be well.